I'm putting together a gallery wall, and I have this odd little space on the side, and I also have this weirdly long sign that I thought I would turn into something that I actually like. And while I do this artwork, I want to talk about the art rut I've been in, partially just to vent, but also because maybe if someone else resonates with it, uh, I might feel less alone and they might feel less alone. And the main focus of this rut is that my art hasn't felt important enough, and I know that's silly. Um, I know life events have for sure been a part of that. My card for the year was the Tower, and I've definitely been experiencing a lot of tower moments between being medically retired from the United States Navy to uprooting my entire life to a new town, a new state, and really just starting all over. And this is the first time I've been out of the control of someone else. The first time I've been my own person. Before I joined the military, I was 17 and I lived with my parents. I was under the control of my parents and the school system. And now that I am 27, I simultaneously feel ancient. I've done so much in the last 9 years, and kind of like a teenager who's leaving the house for the first time. So this art piece is going to be a mixed media skull plant collage. I've made a lot of these. You can see them on my Instagram and my TikTok. But I have these carved skulls and some papers to print them on. They're the backs of like old paperback books because I like the color that old paper gets. And I have this other paper for the vase that the skull plant will be in. I had some other options, but I went with that first one. And I also have a whole bunch of painted papers for the leaves. And it's going to be really fun to put this collage together just using things I have on hand. Um, Sometimes when you're in a rut, you have to look back at things you've done before, and I have made a lot of skull planting last year. Look at this one. He's romantic. I thought that was funny that that stayed in. But yeah, a lot of tower moments for myself, and simultaneously, I think a lot of Americans are awakening to the horrors that America is committing against its own people and abroad, the multiple genocides it's complicit in, but more specifically in Palestine. And I know we're all feeling so much pain and sorrow and kind of helplessness. We can donate money and watch the videos and raise awareness and go to protests if you're able bodied enough to do so. But none of that feels super physical, like you're physically doing good. And our nervous systems need that, um, like making a piece of art. And that's where I don't understand this fear I have of my art not being important enough, because I am such a firm believer in, if you want to dance, you should dance. If you want to make art, you should make art. If you want to form a one-man band with only instruments that are carved from carrots, you should make your weird music. You should do that. Uh, but it's so hard to hold that same space for ourselves, to be that kind friend to your inner child and to your inner artist. And not to let your inner critic run wild, imagining every single worst case scenario. And our inner critic can have the voice of our parents or a mean teacher, childhood bully, a former friend or lover. But when we unmask our inner critic, we take off their bad mustache and toupee, we find that they are also just fear. Fear trying to keep us in a safe place so we don't get hurt or disappointed again. In Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, she talks a lot about fear and learning how to hold fear's hand and do the hard thing anyways. Let your fear be seen and heard and loved, because they are just as much a part of you as your artist is. So this fear of my art being not important enough is probably just a fear of failure and also a fear of success. You know, my socials and my art business haven't done as well over the last 2.5 years as I'd hoped they would, and it feels like no one will ever really appreciate my art sometimes, even though I know deep down that that is not true. And I also feel like my art isn't doing enough good for the world. But that's so silly, because your art is a reflection of yourself and your ideals. And sure, we don't need memento mori skull plants to remind us that we're all going to die right now. But maybe this is also about rebirth, about learning about yourself and growing through all the tiny deaths that you go through in life. You know, the death of myself that was in the military, the death of the ideas that I was indoctrinated to believe in my entire life, the death of my able-bodied self now that I am disabled, and that grief that comes with all of those deaths, but also the joy that comes with all of the potential new growth and futures. And part of facing that fear is doing the thing, doing this art piece and writing the script for this video helped me break out of the fear and helped me create again. And there were some other action steps that also helped me create again. And let me know if you take any action steps yourself. The first thing is helping the community directly that's near me. So I donated to a low barrier housing project for homeless people, and that is material good that I will see in this new community that I am in, and getting involved in this new community I am in, putting myself out there, going to meetings of local clubs and joining the local arts council and volunteering, going to the farmers market. It feels good to get to know your neighbors, and that is a action that you can take that does material good in the world. And the final action I want to talk about is specifically for people in the United States, Canada, and North America. And it's to learn about the Native people whose stolen land you are on, because that is the first step to a land back movement. Just like Israel is on stolen Palestinian land, we are on stolen Native American indigenous land. So take some time to learn about them and care about them, and we can take steps towards reparations and land back. I really hope you enjoyed this little talk. Um, I hope you feel like you're seen if you are in a bit of a rut yourself. I'm adding the final touches to this piece, the glowing orbs that are in a lot of my art pieces. I'm using holographic glitter because glitter makes literally everything so much better. Let me know if you agree on that. I should be posting more soon. Like and follow if you want to see more, and follow me on my other socials because that is where you will find the most of my art. And thank you so much for watching.